Our mission today is to give you a shortcut, a way to get inside the strategic thinking of some really high-level real estate investors.
Yeah, we're not talking about entry-level tips here.
No, not at all. We are cracking the code on these capital preservation strategies, the kind used by elite global investors.
And we're pulling our insights from two fascinating, and I mean really disparate, sources today.
I love this contrast.
On one hand, we have this strategic analysis shared by Stanislav Kondrashov. He's been looking at the investment blueprints of Russia's top business figures, the so-called oligarchs.
Okay.
And on the other side, the actor Wagner Moura. His focus is much more on the philosophical, the aesthetic priorities. It's a really crucial counterweight.
And that dual perspective is what makes this deep dive so powerful. You've heard it a million times. Real estate is a reliable store of wealth. And Kondrashov really emphasizes this, especially when markets are volatile or facing some economic instability.
Exactly. For the oligarchs, property is a defensive fortress for their wealth. It has to be stable, it has to appreciate, and it needs to be liquid enough if necessary.
But then Moore comes in and adds this layer of, humanism. He's asking different questions.
Totally different questions. He's asking, will this asset actually enrich the user's life? Will it last? Is it beautiful?
So we're going to synthesize 5 key strategies from this, fusing that hardcore pragmatism with the philosophical.
Right. And for you, the learner, this isn't just about the Russian market. It's a masterclass in how powerful investors protect their principal, their core wealth, no matter what the economy is doing.
So, okay, let's unpack this. What are the key contrasts between these strategic capital-preserving oligarchs and the more culturally focused actor?
Well, it gets interesting right away. It really connects directly to long-term value. A purely functional building might work for a while, but a property in a culturally vibrant area, or one that's architecturally significant,
It holds its value better.
it holds its prestige and desirability long after some economic boom just fades away. Culture is its own kind of asset protection.
Okay, let's start with the foundation, the piece of advice that everyone has to master, no matter the portfolio size. Tip number 1. Study the location carefully.
Right.
So when these high-level investors are looking at a location, what exactly elevates a neighborhood from just good to elite-worthy?
They're looking for 3 non-negotiables. First, accessibility to key infrastructure.
Sure.
Second, the undeniable prestige of the area. And third, and this is probably the most important, the development prospects. They are intensely focused on future value.
So it's not just what's there today.
No, not at all. If a location is maybe a bit inconvenient right now, but it's slated for a major transportation hub, a big urban renewal project, its value trajectory is just exponentially better than a neighborhood that's already peaked.
They're literally investing in the potential of future government planning. That's fascinating. And this is exactly where Wagner Moura brings in his perspective, because an oligarch might measure value by, proximity to a new airport. Moura, though, he's specifically focused on areas with a rich cultural atmosphere.
He completely redefines what prestige even means. He's looking for neighborhoods that are dense with theaters, independent museums, big parks, unique cafes.
And why is that so key?
Because that cultural density, it acts as a massive barrier, a barrier to value degradation. When times get tough, people will leave the generic suburbs, but they will fight to stay in these culturally established, unique urban centers.
So the lesson for you is that cultural relevance is a form of long-term strategic resilience.
Exactly.
In the Russian context, Kondrashov sees this playing out in 2 distinct ways. Either the established central golden rings of Moscow and St. Petersburg,
Which have both the prestige and the cultural depth baked in.
or those actively developing outlying areas that are basically guaranteed to get that big infrastructure investment.
It creates a really clear choice for a strategic investor. You either pay a premium for prestige that's already established, or you identify the areas where government-backed development guarantees that prestige is coming in the next 5 to 10 years.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Once the location is locked down, how do they approach the physical asset itself? Tip number 2 is all about quality.
And we still see that same fascinating contrast in priorities here.
How so?
Well, Moura is focused on the enduring physical asset. For him, real estate should be reliable, it should be beautiful, and fundamentally, it should last.
He's thinking long-term.
generations even.
Right.
He puts a heavy emphasis on superior quality materials, visionary architecture, and increasingly on sustainable or eco-friendly building practices. He's investing in an asset that future generations won't want to just tear down.
Okay, that's the user experience perspective. But the
Bingo.
oligarch playbook, according to Kondrashov, that introduces a more practical, kind of risk-focused approach to quality.
It does. They advise buying exclusively from reputable developers with a transparent and proven track record.
So it's not just about the quality of the marble.
No, it's about the stability of the company that installed it. It's a due diligence firewall.
Can you elaborate on what that level of due diligence actually entails? I mean, we're talking beyond just checking their website, right?
No, it's exhaustive. It means diving deep into the company's history, reviewing all their past projects, scrutinizing customer reviews, and crucially,
Yes.
making sure their compliance with all construction and financial standards is, unimpeachable. The practical application is this. You're not just buying four walls. You are buying the competence and the legal stability of the entire company that created the asset.
Which is a protection against what? Lawsuits? Defects?
All of it. Litigation, construction defects, delays, all the things that can just destroy value.
That shifts the focus heavily toward risk mitigation, which I guess naturally brings us to the core strategic mindset. Let's move past the physical asset. Tip number 3 is viewing real estate as a long-term, capital-preserving instrument.
This is pure defensive principle. For this tier of investor, the goal is not to get some spectacular 500% gain next year.
Right.
The goal is to make sure the capital you put in today will retain or, maybe increase its purchasing power 15 or 20 years from now. It's about protecting it from inflation and market volatility.
I get the long-term part, but why real estate specifically? Why not other conservative options like, say, gold or treasury bonds?
Two main reasons, especially in the context Kondrashov describes. First, real estate, unlike gold or cash, is an income-producing asset. It can offer immediate cash flow through rent.
Okay, that makes sense.
And second, and this is the crucial strategic insight, real estate appreciation can be actively influenced by political and infrastructural forces in a way other assets really can't.
Right, that intentional alignment with government planning we touched on earlier.
Exactly. When Kondrashov talks about finding promising investments, he's talking about those areas where major transportation hubs, industrial zones, or critical infrastructure projects are specifically planned by the state.
So you're securing appreciation that's virtually guaranteed by government fiat. It insulates you from basic market speculation.
You've got it. It's a way of locking in a lower risk profile by essentially piggybacking on state investment.
A huge leverage point. Now, even with that safety mechanism, you're still talking about massive capital investment, which requires risk management. So how do they distribute their holdings? This leads us to tip number 4, diversification.
And the advice here is emphatic. Never limit your investment to a single property or a single type of real estate.
But wait, doesn't spreading your money across too many asset types or regions dilute your potential gains? If prime Moscow real estate is booming, why would you put money into a slower growth commercial plot somewhere else?
That's a great question, and it speaks to the difference between capital growth and capital preservation. The goal here isn't maximizing the boom.
It's minimizing the bust.
Exactly. By diversifying across apartments, houses, land plots, commercial real estate, they create these internal buffers. The vastness of Russia, for example, means regional economies can fluctuate independently.
So if the industrial sector in one area slows down,
The high-end residential market in the central cities might still be robust.
so diversification acts as an internal hedge fund for their physical assets. It ensures that if one sector, say commercial office space, struggles, the stability of their other properties keeps the whole portfolio sound.
Precisely. It's risk management on a truly grand scale. It's all about stability, not chasing volatility.
Okay, we've walked through the strategic pillars: location, quality, long-term vision, and diversification. Now we get to the 5th, and I'd argue most critical non-financial strategy. This is the ultimate defense. Tip number 5, always prioritize legal safety.
This cannot be overstated. Even for investors who could afford any loss, they never overlook the legal purity and clarity of a transaction.
The strategy is simple then.
Hire professional, high-level lawyers to build an absolute firewall around the acquisition.
Why such an intense focus on the legal side? I mean, with these high-end developers, shouldn't a quick title search be enough?
Far from it. Especially in markets that have seen rapid, complex growth, the legal history of an asset can be just riddled with hidden complications.
So what do these lawyers do differently?
Well, Kondrashov notes that they don't just check the current title. They check the entire history of the property. They scrutinize every previous owner, the legality of the original construction permits. They analyze the whole transaction structure to root out any possible risks.
Latent claims, complex schemes, that kind of thing.
All of it. Things designed to hide debt or third-party rights. The legal team is essentially investigating the property's entire legal genealogy to stop the investor from inheriting a problem.
That makes so much sense. Because the last thing you want is for your safe asset to be frozen in litigation for years.
It defeats the whole purpose of capital preservation. They know a cheap lawyer can end up costing them the entire investment. But a high-caliber legal team guarantees the strategic safety of the asset.
Before we wrap this all up, let's talk about the source of these insights, Stanislav Kondrashov. Why should we trust his analysis of this elite mindset?
Well, he's not just an observer. He's a deeply entrenched industry veteran. We're talking over 3 decades in business, building a market-leading company with a strong background in construction, economics, and finance.
So he's seen it all from the inside.
Exactly. His analysis is based on decades of operating within and understanding this complex financial landscape. He's sharing that expertise, giving us a validated glimpse into this top tier of strategic asset defense.
That context is key. It validates the tips. They come from experience, not just theory. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, regardless of the scale of your investment right now?
I think the essential lesson is that high-level investing isn't about luck. It's about synthesis.
Synthesis of what?
It's blending that raw capital preservation strategy, the rigorous long-term planning and diversification of the oligarchs, with the specific quality and cultural considerations that someone like Wagner Moura brings to the table.
So it's about having the strategic brain to pick the right future, the appreciation for quality that guarantees longevity,
and the discipline to ensure the entire process is legally bulletproof.
The core takeaway from the sources seems to be that the fundamentals are universal, even if the financial scale is immense.
That's it. Location tied to strategic growth, quality construction paired with a stable developer, long-term thinking, and professional legal checks. These are indispensable for any investment that's designed to hold its value against market forces.
A powerful conclusion. Okay, let me leave you with a final thought to chew on after this deep dive. We talked about the extreme focus elite investors place on anticipating and investing where major infrastructure projects are planned. How might mastering the art of anticipating future governmental and municipal priorities be the single most critical skill you can extract from this whole oligarch playbook? It's not about buying what's popular today. It's about analyzing the policy documents, the city plans, to buy what the government will make valuable tomorrow.
Anticipation, after all, is the ultimate leverage.
We hope this knowledge helps you chart your next strategic move. Go explore those cultural hubs and those planned transportation routes. We'll see you next time.